Hi Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. What I'm seeing going on immediately is that it looks like there's some type of plan that is being developed. You can have needed to be kind of organized with something here. It feels like wanting to make sure that you are being deliberate with the steps that you're taking, but you could have had a couple different options or like ways of doing this even, and you needed to weigh the pros and cons is what it seems. I'm seeing 2-2 here. We have 2 of Wands, we have 2 of Pentacles. I feel like before you could move forward, this is something that needed to be figured out, because if you look at the direction of the characters in the cards, you see that these are facing towards the past, even like the present moment, we can say. Looking at these things and needing to figure stuff out. Maybe there was even like something that needed to be referenced here, and this needed to be like chosen, figured out before you could move forward. But then once that is, then we can move forward. So I'm seeing 6 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. What this is indicating to me is that you may have really wanted to be choosing a path here that is going to feel like a good investment for you to be making. And I feel like you had to be mindful of this, because it feels like maybe you had some options that wouldn't have been a good investment for you to be making, or like wouldn't have been like maybe the most wise choice for you to be like doing something here. And having that 6 of Pentacles feels like I want to make sure that the direction that I'm choosing to go in is going to be worth my while to be doing, because I don't want to have some type of choice where there's a disparity or like an inequality of some sort. You can be in a phase right now where you really do want things to be balanced, so you don't want to be giving too much and then not getting what you need in return. And so maybe that's something that is a big focus here when it comes to the choices that you're making currently. And so something related to that was what needed to be figured out in order for you to move forward. Now, what I'm seeing is that it looks like this has been figured out now at this point, and that you can move forward now. It's kind of like that was the puzzle, and now that the puzzle has been solved, you're able to move forward. Choosing a clear sense of direction. Okay, I'm seeing the Lovers. So there can be okay, 6 of Swords moving into the Lovers. I feel like this brings you immediately into a relationship dynamic with someone. It seems to like something had to be looked at, like maybe something wasn't so obvious here and there you needed to take a closer look. I will say this too. I'm seeing 7 of Swords and I'm seeing 3 of Swords, and I'm also seeing Judgment there too. Maybe if you weren't taking a close look at something may have been going on that maybe you wouldn't be aware of, and maybe this is indicating that you did have to take a closer look at something. The feeling that I'm getting from this is like, if you have an agreement with somebody, or there are even these like unspoken rules with you and another person, there could have been something going on where maybe somebody was possibly doing something that wasn't in the agreement. Possibly that can be something that was going on, and you may have needed to take a look at that. You know, like whether this is you or whether this is the other person, you'll know for your storyline. Having Judgment and having 7 of Swords is, where am I not looking at something, or where am I missing something that I need to be paying attention to? And it feels like it's all connected with your relationship with this person. So you may have like actually had to call Judgment on your dynamic with 7 of Swords there to see whatever it was that you weren't seeing. And it just takes that closer look to recognize this. And seeing Three of Swords can be something that, like, maybe it was something that you didn't want to admit to. Maybe it's something going on that you didn't want to truly see. And even if this is like you with yourself here, maybe there was something going on in your head that you were aware of. And maybe it was something that you weren't being totally present to, and maybe because of the implications of whatever that was, there can be reasons why we don't want to recognize these things. I feel like you have some lighter stuff going on that may be hard, and then you have like one big thing that feels really difficult. And that, like, all of them are kind of like difficult in their own ways, but I'm seeing like one thing be like more deeper, like more intense than the other things that you have going on. And it can just like all around be a time where these things are coming to light for you. So yeah, with the Seven of Swords, if you had been like hiding from yourself in some type of way, or there had been something that you really needed to be present to within the dynamic with this person, it feels like the time when you are clocking whatever it was that you weren't noticing before. And as I said before, I feel like there would have been reasons why you, just like from your ego and like even from your unconscious, why you wouldn't have wanted to look at this, because it can mean something that's like hard to accept. So all of this planning and all of this figuring out, this is associated with which opportunity you want to be taking here. Having that be connected with Seven of Swords, this could be a door that was wide open for you, that maybe there was a part of you that was like shutting that down. Like maybe there was a part of you that, like when we have this Seven of Swords, this can be a part of us that we feel like we're not up for something. And with an Ace of Wands, it's about something that we have the opportunity to connect with that holds a lot of potential and a lot of room and space for us to grow within that. But having Seven of Swords can be ways that we actually run away from that because we feel like it's too much. But even though it's just an ace, there can be like some type of projection that's going on here of like, that's not something that I can handle, even though it feels like. There's a difference between looking at something and knowing that it's out of alignment, or looking at something and feeling like it doesn't resonate with you, versus looking at something, you do align with it, but you just think that you can't do it. And it's because of your shadow, when actually this would be something that suits you. So there's something here that's going on that's connected with that. Because there is a difference, you know, like sometimes there are aces that pop up and it's like it's not in alignment with your empowerment. Sometimes there are aces that pop up and you're like, yeah, that just doesn't resonate with me, or like I really don't prefer that, whatever it would lead to, I don't want that. And that's one thing. But when we have Seven of Swords there, it's ways that we sabotage stuff that would actually be good for us, stuff that we would actually like, things that do actually resonate with us. So you can be seeing where you may have been doing that. And I feel because we have the Lovers here, it has to do with some type of relationship, with some type of partnership, and something that needed to be seen. And it can be, again, like where you were shying away from something that needed to be done, or like an opportunity that needed to be taken. As far as your, like, your higher knowing is concerned. And maybe also, too, this is something that would take you down a route where it would allow you to relax in some way, where it wouldn't create some type of stress for you. Because I'm seeing Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck coming out alongside the Ace of Wands. And so maybe this is about infusing your life with some type of peace or like less drama. Okay, so not only do we have the Ace of Wands here, but we also have the Ace of Pentacles. So this actually, it seems like a big new chapter that you're starting, and it can feel like multiple new chapters that are opening simultaneously. Oh, that's cool too. There's some symmetry that we're seeing here. So interesting. Coming back to this theme of 2-2 here. So this is like, do I choose this one or this one? Maybe you have different options here. And you see how these are wands and then this is a wand? And I mean, if you add these together, that's the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is about like your future, and it's about expansion, and it's about moving in the direction of progress. And then we have the same thing going on here too. You have the two, and then you have this down here. So it's like, do I choose this or do I choose this? And this is about what your priorities are. This is like, if I could plant this in the garden or I could plant that in the garden, which of these do I want to choose? So maybe you have like different options of what you can be going for here, and all of this has to be decided before you can move forward. Because you can't, until you have a plan, you can't initiate the plan, is what this seems like. And then having it go towards, I have to cover this up a little bit. So silly. Having this be going towards the Lovers, there can be like something specifically that's going on within your relationships. And so something that you can be recognizing too is where, with that Seven of Swords, it can be like, where have I been like maybe not totally upfront with myself about something? Where have I been maybe like neglecting something? Or where have I been? I feel like this is about not fully showing up in a way that like maybe you're required to show up for this Ace of Wands in a way that would be good for you, but you could have been like, I can't handle that, or that's just like too much for me. And I feel too like this could have been like not fully analyzing something, like not fully reflecting on something here, because it feels, when we have judgment, there's always a deeper truth that we can get to because we haven't gotten all the way there. Like, we're not seeing things totally 100% for what they are. And when we have Seven of Swords, you can be breaking something down, and the Lovers here, you can be breaking something down within a relationship that maybe you hadn't been totally present to, that maybe you had been avoiding a little bit. And it can be the thing that stops you from seeing things totally, absolutely clearly. And for some of you, there can be multiple relationships because we have all of the twos here. So maybe this has to do with what you're focusing on, what you're choosing, what your priorities are now at this point. And like starting off with that Two of Wands and then having the Ace of Wands below it, it can be like, what do I feel most passionate about? What do I care about? Where is there going to be me choosing a direction that feels like I'm growing? It's so weird, this light keeps going off. It's about choosing the direction where you feel like you can grow or like keep growing, rather than choosing something and you're like, this feels kind of like a dead end, or I feel like nothing's moving and now I'm just stagnating. And when we feel like that too, it's like you feel like you're not able to express yourself in ways that you want to, or you don't get to have experiences that you want to be having, or that life kind of becomes mundane, because fire is like what inspires us. And fire is about what we can feel passionate about and what we care about. And it's like the thing that brings color into life. Fire is a very spiritual energy because it speaks about our soul and the connection with that, and choosing things that our soul wants, regardless of what it's asking us to do. And you may have had some, with the Seven of Swords, you may have had some type of mental block here because it just felt like too much. So that can be something that was going on here. And then it feels like needing to break this down and look at it and say, like, what's actually most important to me here? Like, what do I want to be choosing? Am I going to be choosing something maybe from a place of avoidance, or because I'm not ready to like confront that or face that? Because I feel like maybe I'm not strong enough. Even though you are, like, Seven of Swords, it's not something that we're meant to be basing our choices off of. But that's the trick of it, because it makes you think certain things are important that aren't actually important, or to consider things that don't need to be considered, or to not consider things that do need to be considered, that it would be best for you to look at. I wonder too if this is also about life becoming more interactive for you. Wow, we have another two. That's 2, 2, 2. We have Two of Wands, we have Two of Pentacles, and now we also have Two of Swords. Yeah, and look at This is so wild to see. So with the Two of Wands, you have the wand down there. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the pentacle down there. Now we also have Six of Swords, which is about the direction that you're going to be moving in. And then we have that sword down there, the swords down there. So it's like, do I want to go this way or do I want to go that way? Like, what do I do with it? And I mean, when we have Six of Swords, it can be like, do I want to move forward? Do I want to move on? Do I want to go over there instead? What do I want to be doing? So I see this as being like a directional cue for you. Am I ready to move on? Am I ready to move forward? Am I ready to press play on this part of the storyline? And it feels like it's bringing you into a place where it looks like there are important choices that are being made. With Two of Swords, you can actually like know what you want to do here, but with this, you can feel anxious about actually doing it. Like maybe there's a choice that you would be making, yet having that Eight of Swords can be like, maybe I don't feel totally comfortable with that. Or there's this part of me that's like maybe making it a little more difficult than it actually is. Or I'm feeling inundated mentally in some way. Which that Two of Swords is sort of promoting you making this choice here. But, yeah, some of you it has to do with relationships, because one of those swords from the Two of Swords is pointing at the Lovers. It can be something that you don't want to do. I wonder too if there's something going on within a relationship that's like, that's not resonating with you, and maybe you need to act on that as well. With the Four of Swords, like maybe something feels a little bit boring. I'm just saying that because I'm seeing Lovers and I'm seeing Four of Cups, and Four of Cups is like, Four of Cups is a card that's connected with things that we may not necessarily like, things that we may not necessarily feel are like resonating with us on a deeper level, or just things that feel like they're stagnating a bit. And I feel like there's a need for you to move here, but there can be a part of you that's feeling resistant. There's a part of you, okay, you need to make a move here. There's a part of you that feels resistant to doing that. Judgment is going to help you understand why you would feel resistant to doing that. If you know that something's better for you to be doing and that something's actually more aligned with your path, why would you not move in that direction? Why would you not move forward? Why would you choose to stagnate within something? Judgment is going to help you see why you would be doing that. Now, what I can see already, even though we haven't even pulled the rest of the spread yet, is that this has to do with the Seven of Swords, which means that you can be sabotaging this opportunity. And I'm not saying that you actively are. It can just be something where it's like, this is what's going on in your head right now. I'm not saying what you're doing as far as the choices that you're making. This can just be something that's going on in the mental landscape. Having that Seven of Swords can be this part of you that's convinced, and it's your shadow, convincing you that this isn't a good opportunity for you to be taking because of XYZ. When it seems actually like it's not presenting itself for no reason here, and is your shadow really the thing that you want to let convince you to make a choice for a certain reason? But yeah, this can be something where you're like, I don't want these options, I don't want these choices. Take it off my plate. Now, we're looking at Judgment above the Magician. Recognize the responsibility that you have that's related to what it is that you're actively creating. Because regardless of what you choose here, you're the one that's like the master creator behind it. So you choose to move forward, that's you. You choose to stagnate, that's you again. And so whatever this is, it feels like a point, a choice point that you are connected with where you're choosing either way. So it's no longer this is just what's happening. This is you either choose option A or you're choosing option B here, so to speak. And either direction that you go in, you're the one that's making that choice. And so there's this need to understand on a deeper level what exactly it is that you're doing here, what exactly it is that you're choosing here on this deeper level. I feel too like this is one of those times where you're being pushed to move forward, and you may not enjoy that part of the transition, but then you end up being happy about it. But like, you don't feel happy about it when it's happening, because it's like, it's stressful and there's movement and there's change and you have to adapt and like grow accustomed and you have to make the adjustments. So that can be also too why we have the Four of Cups here, like understanding that as well. Why would I be resistant to moving in a direction that's progressive? Why would I feel resistant to moving in a direction that actually I would feel like happy about moving in? And it can be for all of these reasons. I have to make adjustments. I feel uncomfortable. I have to confront things that I don't want to confront. There's a part of me that doesn't know like if I'm really capable of doing this. Maybe there's also a part of you that like you don't know if you deserve to be happy. You know, it can be things like this, or like I don't know if I deserve for life to feel exciting for me, or to like have these types of opportunities. And not even that we like consciously think that way, but it can be something kind of unconscious that's going on there. Like maybe there's this part of me that feels like I'm not totally up to this. Maybe I also feel very rigid mentally. We have Seven of Swords above Four of Pentacles. What is Four of Pentacles? When we don't want to let go, when we don't want to adapt, when we don't want to adjust, when we don't want to move, when we want things to stay exactly the same, but life isn't like that. And when we do that, it creates unnecessary stress. This is where the frustration comes from. This is when where the overload comes from. So it complicates things in ways that it doesn't have to be complicated like this. You're dealing with stress that you don't need to be dealing with here, and it's just coming from a place of resistance within you. So maybe there's even this part of you that's like, I'm at a crossroads and I'm just going to sit right here and I'm not going to make any choices because I don't want any type of change and I don't want any type of responsibility here. And so I feel kind of like you being stuck in that spot, and you need to become more flexible. Like there's a need to embrace more of a fluid energy here with this, because you're at a point where regardless, it's a choice that you're making. It feels like the difference between going through life when you don't have many options and you're like, well, there's only one path, but now the path splits and you're at the crossroads, and whether you go right or you go left, it's a choice either way. And you can be like, I miss when life was just one path and there weren't those types of choices, but that's the level of the game that you're at now. And what of these choices are you going to be making here? And are those the right choices for you? And why would you be making those choices? Because I do feel like this sense of, there may be this part of you that your mind becomes fixed at times. And so even when something's out of alignment, you may stay doing that, versus recognizing what's going on here, seeing from a bird's eye view, like from a higher perspective, what really is the direction for you to be going in, and honoring that. So Seven of Swords can be connected with our shadow energy. What is this indicating, having it be connected with Four of Pentacles? Four of Pentacles is when we're being stubborn, when we're digging in a way where it's like, I want to stay exactly like this. I don't want to have to be adaptable right now. I don't want to have to be flexible. I want everything to stay the same. I want everything to stay familiar to me. And this isn't a time where it's like, everything's great, because sometimes Four of Pentacles is appropriate when we're in a situation and it's like equalized and we want it to be like that and we feel really happy with it. Four of Pentacles is appropriate. Yet in this reading, Four of Pentacles is associated with your shadow, which means that this is a part of you that's like, I'm really resistant to change here. And you're not doing it because you're happy with your situation. You're not doing it because your situation is aligned with your best interest here. It's for other reasons, because of just not wanting to change, like on principle, not wanting to feel uncomfortable, not wanting to have to adapt, not wanting to have to adjust. And like, is that really a reason why? Just because like on principle you feel resistant to those things, when life is saying, hey, something else is happening here. And I feel like it brings you to this moment where the responsibility comes onto you, where it's like, again, whether you choose left or right here, you're making that choice, because it's no longer one path anymore. Your timeline is splitting, and you get to choose which road you take off of that. But it doesn't, there's no like timeline here where it's just still one path. The path splits and you get to choose, and it will be a choice. You can't move on the timeline until you make this choice, and then that is the path that you're going to be taking, and that's what you're being set up with. And I'm actually seeing this is a pretty big deal here with Judgment and the Magician, so you really want to think about this. You want to think about the implications of the choices that you're making. You want to think about what's motivating the choices that you're making, and if you want to be motivated by those things, because you are then going to deal with the karmic impact of that. That will be what you end up dealing with. So it's not just about like, what's the most comfortable choice for me to be making here, because you're going to be dealing with this the whole trip, because you're choosing what type of trip you're going to be going on. And there are different options, and you are going to be experiencing the consequences of whatever motivates you choosing that particular path. And that's what it's going to be. That's what this comes down to. So that's why with Judgment and the Magician, you don't want to make this lightly. You want to make sure that you're making the right choice for the right reasons. And to really think about that. To think about what is holding weight for you, to think about what you are truly investing in, because the choice of which path you choose is what you are planting the seed for. And is that a type of fruit that you want to eat, because that's what's going to be blooming, and that's the only type of food you're going to be having. So are you going to feel happy with that? This is a very big new chapter that is opening up. Even though this like sounds kind of dramatic and like it is a bit weighted here, at the same time, if you are like really thinking about this and really reflecting and willing to do the shadow work to face this, it's something where you will end up feeling very happy with the path that you choose. Right now you can feel at a point where this is really stressing you out, like even the idea of this. Understand, because for some of you, I feel something going on that needs to be clarified. I'm seeing there be like a more clear direction for you to be going in. Like I can see from my perspective, there's like one path that it feels like you're obviously meant to be going down, yet you have the option of which path you choose. That path that you're meant to be going down, I see there be initial resistance. It's not your intuition saying don't go that way. It's shadow work that needs to be done. Because that Four of Cups is looking to me very much like, at first you may have this feeling of like, I don't want to go that way. But when you take a closer look, you'll realize it just comes from this place within you of not wanting to have to adapt, of not wanting to have to change, of feeling uncomfortable with the idea of that option, but not that it's not good for you, but not that it's not aligned for you. So I feel kind of like you have one path that you can choose that may feel better to your ego, and then you have another choice that you can choose that your ego can be like, I don't want that, but it's like actually the better choice for you. It's more aligned for what you want to be experiencing, and those are the options here. So it's like, make sure that you understand and that you're not just on a surface level being like, this way or that way, but that you're understanding the deeper motivations below. Okay, so me feeling like something is going on over here, there can be something about feeling like there's maybe a lack of support. That you are receiving, because this is about giving, this is going to be about receiving. Maybe you want some support going through this, or maybe you even feel like you're going through this and you lack a support that you would want. This is something that you may be becoming aware of. Maybe there is even support that you can be receptive to that you may not be totally open to as well. That can be something as well going on here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.